Good morning and welcome to day 18, Live Authentically. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. Isn't that just the coolest saying ever? So when we were babies, we were born beautiful little spirits, full of love and only knew love and happiness. We didn't understand hate and we weren't fearful of anything. We were 100% authentic. We were real. But from that moment onward, our values and our belief systems were created by learning from our tribe, our mom and dad, our cousins, our siblings, our aunts and uncles, and everyone else that we met. So think of your brain like a big open bowl, and think about all the love and happiness that you have in there, and that's all you know. And then these belief systems start to be poured in. No, you can't have that. Smarten up. Be a good little girl. Children should be seen and not heard. All these little sayings that were said continuously to us became our belief systems, became our values. And that's how they were created. So the systems that we're carrying around with us, until we become aware of it, are not ours. They are other people. Now, a thought is only something that you keep thinking. You can change your thoughts anytime you want to change them. If you have a thought or you have a value that does not serve you, you can change it. And how do you change it? You change it with repetition. You replace that old thought with a new thought. Now, the old thought will never go away, but you can always turn it down by a new thought, always thinking something else. Okay, so why does it matter? Some of us go through life wearing a mask and being who others expect us to be. We fill up our days serving others, taking on other people's opinions, and we get caught up in this crazy world that we lose sight of who we are. Living your life to please others is not living authentically. You can only live up to others' expectations for so long. And eventually, the mold that has been formed around you will crack and it will break. So for me, I was always trying to please everyone and live up to everyone's expectations. I had made specific choices in my life on how I was living, but the decisions I was making weren't coming from my heart and my gut. They were arising from expectation, from fear, from depression, from guilt, and from sadness. And October 2012, my mold started to crack. So my husband at the time was going through health challenges, and he ended up having a heart transplant in 2008. A heart transplant. Not just fixing his heart, but actually taking it out and putting another heart in. And that was very hard to watch and very hard to be part of it, especially when I wasn't allowed to be part of his healing, when he did his own healing. I also left my job and I started a business with two other amazing women. And everything started to crack around me. I was trying to fill the void in my life from an empty marriage with a new relationship, with a new beginning. But it wasn't happening because my mold was starting to crack. And it was in 2012, I'll never forget it. It was October, and every night I had gone into my hot tub and just cried. It was a really great place to be. My hot tub was outside, and I could just cry and just be sad and just be there. And one night, I looked up at the sky, and it was a beautiful blue sky, except around the hot tub, or in my vision, there was a circle of clouds. And I looked up at that circle of clouds and I said, okay, I'm ready. Bring it on. I can't do this anymore. I'm done being sad. I'm done being who everybody else needs me to be. I just got to be me. And I got to give my life a chance. And that night, I believe, I had a nervous breakdown. And I stopped going to work. I told my partners that I couldn't go. I didn't know what was happening with me, but I thought I was having a nervous breakdown and I couldn't be there. I left my marriage for 8 months. And I actually went and lived downstairs in the basement, fully furnished basement, of course, but downstairs I lived there for 2 months, just by myself. And even though I was in a very dark place, I felt like the phoenix. I felt like a phoenix. I had crashed and I needed to be there before I could rise. I needed to settle in. So I went into my darkness. I didn't talk to anybody, hardly anybody. I stopped going to work because I couldn't look after my clients. I couldn't look after anybody because I couldn't look after me. And I'm number one. I gotta look after me. No one else is gonna look after me. I am number one in my life, as you are number one in your life. And that's how it has to be. To be free, you gotta be you. And so I stayed down there and I knew I was being guided. I knew I was being guided by the source, by the universe, whatever you want to call it, that greater energy that's bigger than you and me. I was being guided by that. I had asked it to help me. And this is what I got. And so I stayed down there for a couple of months and I worked on me and I learned a lot of things and I let go of a lot of things and a lot of people. And I was very fragile. And it was about 10 months later, I had started going back to the work and it was about 10 months later that I went to a female doctor where I lived, and she specialized in hormones for women. And what we found that 10 months later, I was still at stage 2 adrenal exhaustion. Like my adrenal glands were done. There was no fight, flight left in them whatsoever. And so she put me on a cocktail of medication, and it was vitamins and minerals and things to help build up my cortisol levels and to heal my adrenal glands. And I can honestly tell you, it took me about 18 months to finally be able to tell you I was me again. But a lot of things had changed in that 18 months. A lot of things had changed. And so we have to look at, are we being led by fear or are we being led by faith? Both are states of mind. And I think sometimes that we don't even know where we're coming from. You see, I was living in the present moment during that time before I had my nervous breakdown. I couldn't worry about the past because that wasn't going to help me, and I couldn't worry about the future. All I had was the very present moment, and that's how I lived. But I wasn't living mindful. I was living in fear. I was on the move. I was trying to help everybody I could help, and the one person that I wasn't helping was me. I put me aside because I thought I was doing the right thing. I was living on adrenaline. I was living on cortisol. That's how my life was being used. So who you are being is your reality. That was my reality right at that time. But we don't get in life what we want. We get in life who we are. And that person in 2012, 14 years ago, was not me. That was somebody who was trying to survive, who was trying to help everyone around her survive as well. And my mold cracked. So, are there certain thoughts, beliefs, feelings that are holding you back from being you, your authentic self? Do you live in the past a lot? Are you always trying to please others? Do you not think that you're good enough? Does your cup always seem half empty? No matter how many times you try to fill that cup, it's just always half empty. Some days you're going to feel like you're going to explode. You're going to lose your crap. You can never say no to anyone. Your vocabulary is made up of a lot of what if? What if? What if I do that? You always worry about what others think of you. Remember, I've said, when I realized that what other people think of me is no longer my business. That in itself is freedom. That in itself is you being you. So, what can you do to get rid of these things that are pulling you down and not allowing you to live the life that you want? That's a really good question. And, take this weekend to ask that question of yourself. If any of those things that I just mentioned resonate with you, sit down and think, what do I need to do to live the life I want? Am I living my life authentically? Because a thought is just something you keep thinking. You can change your thoughts. You can change your way of thinking. You just have to keep repeating it. When an old thought comes up, I'm not good enough, you say change. I am so good. I am so amazing. I am me. I love me. Brene Brown said it quite lovely. Authenticity is a collection of choices that we get to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real, the choice to be honest, the choice to let our true selves be seen. Isn't that great? That's how we need to show up every day. So, how do we do it? How do we get rid of the things that are pulling us down and not allowing us to live the life we want to live? Well, I always say, awareness is the beginning of change, and it is freedom. Bring that awareness. Once you've got that awareness, you can create change. When I sat in that hot tub that night, I knew something had to happen. And I'd been going along for 4 years after he had his heart transplant. I'd been going along for 4 years trying to keep my crap together, trying to please everyone, trying to help him even though he didn't want any help, trying to help my clients at the gym. I was trying to please everyone, my parents, my family, but I was running on empty. And that night when I sat in that hot tub, I realized that. And I knew something had to be changed. So begin to recognize when something you hear or see pushes your buttons and brings up negative emotions. Sit with this for a while and contemplate your feelings and ask the questions. What is going on here? What is the truth and why do I feel like this? Don't try too hard to find the answer because the answer is there. But our paradigms, our habits, our beliefs of all those other people, it's trying to keep us safe. It's like, oh, don't worry about that. You'll be okay. Don't worry about that. But when the first thing that comes up, that's your higher self. That is your spirit. That is you. That is authentic you. That's the one. That's the voice you want to listen to. The first thought that comes up. Not the one that comes 6 seconds later and go, oh, but that's not true. You're fine. Don't worry about that. Because that's your ego. That's what's talking there. Number 2, this is a good one. Get rid of any negativity in your life. Do you have somebody that you work with, a member of your family, or a friend that is very pessimistic? Is their cup always half empty? They're never helpful, and they bring you down every time you're with them. Get rid of them. It's that simple. Get rid of them. No, we can't get rid of family. Family is family. But we can still create space and distance from them. Stop hanging out with them and start hanging out with your positive friends and go out and meet new people. Because those negative people in your life will begin to disappear. They'll stop calling and they'll stop showing up. You see, it's all about vibration. We are vibrational beings. And we attract what we put out. Now, I've said before, people are mirrors of who we are. So if you're hanging out with people that are negative, you got to look at yourself and think, well, how do I speak? What are my thoughts about people? Do I judge others? Because those are the people we're attracting. That's the vibration that we're putting out. Now, you start putting out positivity. You start putting out love. You start putting out smiles. You start putting all that out. That is what you're going to attract. That and those people are who you're going to bring into your life. And when you stop thinking all those negative thoughts, those people kind of just dwindle away. They don't even come into your line of vision anymore because that's not who you're attracting. It's that simple. It really is. And it's very cool. All right. So as mentioned before, gratitude is an easy way to begin feeling happy. Just sitting right now. Just close your eyes and just say, what am I grateful for right now? And again, listen to that higher self voice. Listen to that first thing that comes up. What am I grateful for? Well, right away, I'm grateful for where I live. I have a beautiful home. I am so grateful that I have a roof over my head. I have air conditioning on to help me stay cool in the summer months. I am so lucky to have what I have. And if you're sitting there going, well, I don't know what I'm grateful for. Well, you're alive. You woke up this morning on the right side of the grass. You're actually breathing. You've got air, fresh air coming into your lungs. There's water in your tap, like just the basics. And when we can feel that gratitude and the love of that, wow, that's pretty amazing. What are your pastime passions? What makes you happy? What do you love to do? Just write down all your passions and start to do them again. Live an authentic and meaning life. Be true to yourself and live in line with your values, not the values of other people, not the values of your mom and dad that were embedded right from when you were just a wee little person. What are your values? How do you like to live? What do you want in your life? And are you true to who you are? And here's my question for you today. What small steps can you take to move in the direction of living your life to the fullest and to be your true, authentic self? Because you are love. You are peace. You are joy. That's how we came here to be on this earth. As that bundle of happiness and love and joy. And somewhere along the way, it was taken away from us. And it was taken away by other people's values, other people's opinions. And my friend, it's time to live authentic. It's time to be the beautiful spiritual being that you are in this human body. And just enjoy every present moment that we have. So, thank you for listening. I wish you the most wonderful day. Go out there and be happy. Do something that you love to do today. And just notice how it feels and fills up your heart with love and gratitude. Okay? Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you again very soon. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.